Welcome to Two Brothers Talking. I'm Israel. Today I'm flying solo again, but don't worry, Eli will be back next week. Today I'm talking to a great guest. He's affectionately known around town as El Gordo. Isaiah Lopez, the owner of Birrieria El Gordo. Hopefully I got that right. If not, feel free to correct me. Isaiah, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, Israel.
Absolutely. I'd love to dig into your early life, where you're at now, the inspiration behind opening up a shop in town, how you started. I know you started close to my house, actually, which is a pretty awesome story to see you go from that corner to where you're at now. But
Yeah,
first, how's the family doing? How are you guys doing during this time?
the family's good, man. The family's good. It's actually growing. The wife is 4 months pregnant right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
with the boy. So I have nothing but girls. Quite a large family.
Nice.
We're doing very well. The wife works here too, just as much as I do. It's her recipe.
There you go.
So really, she owns it. I just work here.
Hey.
But my childhood was great. I grew up in a Christian household. I did have some trouble growing up. Had some troubled years. Moved out of the house around the time I was about 14 years old. Moved to Fresno, California, and that's where I learned my work ethic from, because I moved out and I had to, provide for myself. Essentially, I moved in with my brother, but it was never the same thing as living with mom and dad. Moved out there. I was a gardener for quite some years. Got into some trouble that kind of just really followed me for maybe the following decade or so. And before this, I worked at a body shop. So that's pretty much all I know. And I decided to come to Yuma just for a better life for me and my family.
Yeah, I definitely can appreciate that. You talk about some trouble early on, and oftentimes we can look back and say, you know what, that taught me this, or that taught me that, or I appreciate that lesson it taught me. Was there anything in particular that you learned growing up that you're grateful for, despite maybe some of the heartache that it might have caused?
Yeah. You know what, Israel, the things that I went through growing up and in these last few years made me the man I am today. Made me the Tío Gordo that you all love. It made me the hard worker I am today. It made me successful because it was a school of hard knocks, man. School of hard knocks, trial and error, being away from your family, your children for long periods of time. It does something to a person, and it does something to your soul. And I was done. I was done with living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And just being in a dead end. Had no future. Had a lot of dreams, but no future. So
And that's certainly an inspiring story to tell, right? If you got young people watching that may be in trouble themselves, or maybe a young adult, older adult, who might have had some difficult things in life that derailed them from their original plans. But what an inspiring story to tell, that you can, say, I'm going to rise above that. I'm going to make some decisions
yeah.
that's going to alter my future.
Oh yeah.
You talked about faith a little bit when you grew up. You grew up in a faith-filled household. How did that influence how you began to think about life as you had some self-reflection time?
Well, faith is a real strong part of again the man that I am now. I always give all the glory to God, because none of this would be possible without God. I shouldn't be here. I definitely shouldn't be successful. But through the grace of God, all this is possible. And at times we veer away, but always come back. And I think just this time I just finally decided to say, let it be your way. Yeah. And although the road to success and the road to where you want to be, it's not a smooth road. It's bumpy. It's bumpy. There's some sharp turns. There's some uphill, some downhill. It's a battle. But if you stay on the right path, you can do anything you set your mind to. Literally anything. And I'm telling you that right now. 18 months ago, I had nothing, was no one. 18 months ago, nothing. I was living in a one-bedroom apartment. I had already decided to try to chase my dreams, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have. I don't know. I didn't have. I didn't have it in me for one reason or another. I had it in me enough to move out of where I always grew up at and come to Yuma, but then I just sat stagnant in a one-bedroom apartment for a couple months. I didn't move on anything, and then one day I just told my wife, "It's time to do it. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and then COVID hit right when we were ready to go. We had a bunch of things lined up. We were ready to go, and I told my wife, "You know what? Let's just sell food out of the apartment. What's the worst that can happen?"
Yeah.
And literally, from that day that I made that decision to just say, let's just go for it, we sold out every single day for about the next 10 months from that day. And I had to start off with, it was me, it was my aunt, my wife, and 2 delivery drivers, right? The very next week, I already had 10 employees.
Wow.
Well, it was 10 of us all together. The very following week, we started on a Friday. And the very next Friday, I already had, it was 10 of us already, because it was overwhelming. But I guess it took believing in myself, and saying, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Yeah, man. So I guess what I would suggest to people is go for it. Just go for it.
That's, great advice. It's oftentimes when your back's against the wall, like you said, you have nowhere else to go but up. You get this courage. You take the step of faith and you say, you know what? I'm going to put all my, eggs in this basket. I'm going to chase my dreams. And with you found success, but oftentimes it doesn't come without setbacks. So did you face any, setbacks that it might have caused you to pause and say, was this the right dream to chase?
Even right now, I have huge setbacks right now. Sometimes I don't know how I'm gonna make payroll, or how I'm gonna pay the rent, or how I'm gonna pay the huge electricity bill or the huge gas bill. There's always setbacks, man. But it's how much do you want it? I'm getting chills right now. How much do you want it? Do you want to be in the same place you've always been, or do you want to be someone everybody looks up to? Do you want to be that superhero for your kids and your family? Israel, we had tons of setbacks, man. First of all, was we didn't have money to open a restaurant. We had a little something, but it wasn't enough to open a restaurant. And I thank God that things happened the way they happened, because we had a lease ready to go right on Avenue A.
Wow.
I forget the doctor's name, but it was right on Avenue A by the hospital. We were gonna rent a building, and I thank God we didn't get that building. I think I don't thank God COVID hit, but because of COVID, we weren't able to get that building, and we had to work the way that we worked. We worked out of our house, which we faced a ton of people like, "Hey, man, that's super unsanitary. You don't have a business license. You don't have this. You don't have that," and we didn't. But it was never our intention to work, quote unquote, illegally out of our apartment. It's just, we rolled with the punches, man.
Right.
A couple months later, some of my legal, issues finally caught up to me. We had to close down. It was looking like we were going to have to close down for a very long time. But again, luckily, through the grace of God, I was able to come back. And when I came back, I feel like we came back stronger than ever. We had some awesome people in the community that supported us without us even knowing. Frankie from Z's Grill reached out to us, said, "Hey, man, I got a little trailer. If you guys want to rent it, you can rent it." Wow. So what that meant to us was, hey, we can go public with this now. You know what I mean? We can be a lot more public with this. But again, setbacks. We didn't have money. You need money for business licenses, for it's not a lot, but you need money for business licenses, health permits, to stock up on your inventory to work every single day.
Yeah.
There was tons of setbacks, man. July 27th is when we were parked on Avenue B, and we had the health department there almost every day for the first month and a half.
Wow.
And we were only there for about a month and a half. And then we moved over in September, late September, we moved over to, no, August 25th, we moved over to the spot we had on Pacific and 24th. And we had the health department and the code enforcement there for the first 3 months.
Wow.
It got so bad that, and it wasn't because we weren't complying. We were complying, but when you're a new business in this town, sometimes this might tick off the wrong people, but I'm gonna say it like it is. When you're a new business in this town, sometimes it feels like the city doesn't want you to succeed. Not everybody has $100,000 to do everything the city wants you to do. But we were rolling with the punches, man, and we stood strong, and we said, no, we're not going anywhere. We're here. You're gonna have to bring. They threatened us to bring Yuma PD to close us down for just some clerical things that we didn't have done yet. And I told them that's what it's gonna take, because I'm not shutting down. We're following all health and safety protocols. Our food's safe. Our food's good. You see how busy we are. We shut down. We put at the time, it was already about 15 people. We put them all out of jobs.
Wow.
We're definitely not shutting down. That was a huge setback. And learning, because I don't have a background in the kitchen. Neither does my wife. My wife was a nurse. I was a manager at a body shop. We didn't know. This was just our dream,
Yeah.
So setbacks, there's a ton, but if you keep pushing, you'll get there. You'll get there.
And you mentioned, you were facing some opposition that could cause some people to flinch, to move, but you thought back on the people that you're responsible for, right? 15 employees.
Yeah.
They have families to take care of. That takes an amount of integrity and takes an amount of character to say, you know what? Everything in me is wanting to maybe, or make someone else take a step back, but I've got to take a step up to keep pushing forward, to keep my commitment that I made to these 15 folks. Along with that comes a level of respect for the community that you live in. And it's often showed by how much you give back to the community. So can you talk about that? Why do you choose to give back so much to the local community?
So, Israel, that's a good question, man. This community is everything to me. This is my family. We have what we have because of this community and their support. And what better way to show your love and affection than to give something back to them? I can't give them my time. So I give them whatever I can, whatever comes from my heart.
Yeah.
I'll sit down with my team, and then we'll think about, well, what can we do? Let's give something back. I don't have to. I want to. It comes from the heart. I feel like it's that we have a huge support in this community. Huge. I mean, it feels amazing. There's a lot of the times I'm driving, people honk like, "Hey, man, that's El Gordo," or people will stop me out. I'm nowhere near the restaurant. People will stop me, take pictures with me, ask me questions. People will come in and ask if they could take a picture with me. That's amazing, man. Yeah. That is, I've only felt that way, like my kids. I know my kids love me, I do this for them.
Yeah.
But for my community to be that way towards me, it just brings another type of love that I have, and that's, like I said, that's my family. So I want to give as much back as I can, and we got a lot more. We got a lot more in store, and we haven't released yet. We're holding that we're holding that back till we can get a little more settled in the restaurant. But I will always do that, always.
I'm sure Yuma could say one of your greatest strengths is such a big heart that you have. What would you say is Yuma's greatest strength?
Oh, the community. The community, for sure. I I've never seen people come together like here in Yuma. I've also never seen people as upset as here in Yuma, or some of the complaints that they have, or this and that. But the love supersedes all that, man. This community is strong. This community is strong. That's Yuma's strength. Is the community, is the people within it.
Yeah, I have to agree. We have a phenomenal community here that's fueled
Yes,
by
sir.
a lot of love.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What's next for you? What gets you excited about the future?
Man, a lot of things are coming. Israel, we move fast, man. We move quick. Um, I won't tell you everything,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you as much as I can. The very next thing is we're gonna open up in the foothills again. So to all my foothills people, we'll be out there again. Um, the next month or so, maybe 2 months. Franchising is on the way as well. So you're gonna see Birrieria El Gordo abroad, Phoenix, LA, Dallas, everywhere.
Wow.
Franchising is coming, and more than likely, maybe one or two more locations within the next year or two here in Yuma. That's what's right around the corner for Birrieria El Gordo, and we're just gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep adding, not a lot more to the menu, but just enough to where we can still give all of our attention to the birria. You know, we've added a lot of things that a lot of our customers have been wanting for a very long time. We're gonna maybe add another handful of things, but that's it on that on that spectrum of things. I can't really think of anything else other than just getting better at what we do.
That's awesome. Excited for y'all. I'm really
Thank
excited
you,
to
man.
see what comes next.
Thank
See
you,
you
man.
guys continue to succeed. Before we go, we have a segment on the show we like to play with our guests called What's That Moment? Where we ask questions about either their favorite show or their favorite movie. Some questions are easy, some are obscure. You want to play with us today?
Yeah, yeah. Let's play. Let's
Awesome.
rumble.
Awesome. So I hear you love the movie Passion of the Christ.
Yeah,
So great
yeah,
movie. We got some
yeah,
questions for you. You ready?
yeah. I'm ready.
All right. Question number one. This one should be simple. Who
Okay.
directed the film?
I believe it was Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I found out while I was researching these questions is he spent his own money to make that movie. 30,
Really?
$30 million. No production companies wanted to touch the project, and
Jesus.
yeah, someone
Yeah, that's insane, man.
yeah, he saw a story that needed to be told and said, "I'm gonna do it. No one else will."
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Question number two: who played the pivotal role of Jesus in the movie?
I do not know.
Jim
That I
Caviezel.
don't know. Never even heard that name before.
He was in the movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid. It's a good movie. I like that one too.
Yeah, I probably should have said no. I'm just kidding.
Question number three: which other critically acclaimed actor was initially considered for the role of Jesus? He was also
That
known for playing Abraham Lincoln. If that helps.
no, it doesn't help. I'm not sure either.
Daniel Day-Lewis. No worries.
Okay.
This one's the obscure one. It's Mel Gibson appeared in a cameo in which two scenes?
He did?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I do not remember
So
seeing that man in the movie.
it was very obscure. His hands are the ones that are seen nailing Jesus to the cross,
I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
and then tying Judas's noose. He used his hands on both of them. That's pretty neat. I didn't know that at all.
Really? Yeah, that is really neat. Those are really fun facts.
Thanks for playing the game.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you being a good sport. Before we go,
Yeah.
where can people go physically to support you, the restaurant, and then on social media?
So we're in the Big Curve Shopping Center, right? 326 West 32nd Street, Still a new address. I'm still getting used to it.
All good.
We're right next to the gym. So after you get your workout done, come get your proteins in.
There
You
it
know what I
is.
mean? On Instagram, it's easy. It's at Birrieria El Gordo. Facebook, it's at Birrieria El Gordo Yuma. Email birrieriaelgordo@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Isaiah, for your time. We'll look forward to stopping by and getting some delicious food. Folks in the greater Yuma area and even beyond, keep an eye out on this wonderful family, this great business. They might be coming to a city near you. Who knows? All right. Thanks so much for making time
Thank
for
you,
us
brother.
today.
Thank you for having me, man.